It's sandal season at Dansko. That's right, Dansko. The iconic clog brand now offers sandals. Whether you're looking for stylish wedges, comfy flats, or trendy cork sandals, Dansko has you covered. And don't miss the all-new platform Pro Clog. Visit Dansko, dansko.com/radio to explore Dansko's full range of supportive and fashionable footwear. From Dansko's iconic heritage clogs to the latest designs, Dansko's easy-to-wear slip-ons and adjustable styles are made to support you through even the busiest days. Plus, enjoy free shipping and returns. Visit Dansko, dansko.com/radio today. This is what you do when you have high standards and fancy all the fancy things, like a Dior saddlebag or that diamond tennis bracelet. You go to eBay. There you'll find new loves that will never disappoint, expertly authenticated. Whether it's that vintage pearl necklace or brand new ruby earrings, a Prada crossbody bag, or classic watches like that Rolex Oyster or that Cartier tank. On eBay, there are no limits to your high standards. Yeah, eBay. The place for new, pre-loved vintage and rare fashion. eBay. Things people love.
Have you ever brought your magic to Walt Disney World like, hey, we came to play? Did you tip your tiara to a Creole princess or get goofy officially? Step up like a boss and save the day? Or see what life's like under the tree of life? Did you? If you could. Would you? When we come through, it's true magic. 'Cause we came to play. Bring the magic at Walt Disney World Resort.
Hey everyone, Matt here with Joel from How to Money. Joel, I know you like a good road trip. What's the last one that you've taken?
Okay, well, this was a flight, not a drive, but my wife and I just got back from the iHeart Podcast Awards in Austin, Texas. That was a lot of fun. And I knew it was going to be a hectic trip, so I booked a comfortable Airbnb for us that was very walkable to downtown. Nice. It was perfect.
Yeah, and nothing worse than like spending half your trip stuck in traffic when you're trying to enjoy a new city, walking, even running around on foot. Like, that is the way to do it, man.
Agreed, yeah. And you know what hit me while I was there, Matt? How brilliant it is to list your own place on Airbnb when you're traveling, especially now that you can team up with a co-host who handles everything for you. Find a co-host at airbnb.com/host.
Hi, everyone. I'm Rachel Zoe, and you're listening to Climbing in Heels for your weekly dose of glamour, inspiration, and, of course, fun. My styling career really caught fire in the late 90s and early 2000s. And I, at the time, was working in the music industry. In fact, I was eating, sleeping, and breathing in the music industry. I worked with a lot of everyone's favorites, so it's very exciting and lots to discuss. So here to help me dive into some of my more famous Y2K is my producer, Mary Elizabeth. So let's get right into it.
How exciting. As Rachel mentioned, for some reason, since January, you have been getting a lot of requests for quotes or stories or trending topics about your experience in your Y2K styling era. So as you mentioned, you started in the music industry in the days when music videos were the biggest marketing tool for a label and a song.
Yes.
So the days of TRL, which I was obsessed with, the butterfly hair clips, the capri pants, the layering of tank tops, the Y2K fashion is back, whether we like it or not. And I think so I put up in your story for our listeners to answer questions or ask you questions that you will answer about Y2K specifically. And it by far and away got more responses than maybe any sticker I've put on your story, like ever. So we're going to jump into listener questions that they have about Y2K and your contributions to the era. But I thought it would be fun first to lay the scene for everybody.
I want to sidebar. You said late 90s, or I said late 90s. I was like a kid then.
Oh, sure, for sure. Oh, yeah,
I was
yeah.
a kid.
She was
too young to do anything in the 90s.
Definitely not a full adult. Definitely not. Nope. Yes, I must have been wrong on that.
Yep.
So I thought it would be fun to first lay the scene for listeners about the iconic music videos that you worked on, because all the millennials like me who know and love you from the Rachel Zoe Project grew up in that era of, like I said, TRL, and waited on bated breath for our favorite pop stars to drop their music videos. And you were a part of some truly iconic ones that I don't know if everybody knows.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I don't know all of them because I will be very honest with you. My life from the minute I went freelance, I legitimately, it's like I always say to you on the regular, like it's a blur. It's an actual blur because the music industry was on such fire and the amount of money being spent on every aspect of the artist, their life and all of that was so intense. And like the speed at which these pop stars were working, shooting, touring, performing. I was like me, myself, and I with like one assistant with like 50 racks of clothes. So I like when you say it, I'll be like, oh my God, of course they did that. But like if you asked me, I could remember probably like a handful of them. And like when I hear a song now, like of Backstreet or Enrique or Jessica Simpson or Britney, I'll be like, oh, I did that.
You're like, oh crap, I was on set. I was actually on set.
Okay, I did that look. Right.
I love it. Okay, so let's kick it off. I mean, the Y2K queen was definitely Miss Britney Spears.
Yes.
And you did work with Britney Spears.
I did.
And you did work on, correct me if I'm wrong, Hit Me Baby One More Time.
I did. So that was actually one of my very first freelance jobs because there is a woman out in the world. I haven't spoken to her in forever, but Haley Hill, who was my boss at YM Magazine. And Haley was the senior fashion editor, fashion director at the time. And she would get booked on these big like commercials and stuff. And she was booked on Britney's video and stuff through her manager, Sonia Muckle.
Okay.
And Sonia, who I remember like yesterday, I think I ran into her in the last couple of years. It was wild. And Haley needed help. And she had 2 jobs booked at the same time. It was like one of those things. So I was still working at the magazine and I think it was being shot on a weekend.
Okay.
And so,
do you remember where it was being shot?
No. Like I want to see Brooklyn.
Okay.
Or Queens. Like I can't, like at a stage or studio, I can't remember. But that's for some reason feeling familiar. And she called me because she needed help. And so I went in and started like just working on it and like pulling the clothes and doing the prep and like being on set and whatever. And I think at the time, like I was so obsessed with being great at my job that I never looked at stars as stars, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't think in the moment I knew or cared that much that it was Britney. I knew, but it was more like I was such a fashion girl that to me, like if you were like, you're going on set with Karl Lagerfeld and Kate Moss, that would have given me a cold sweat panic attack.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And so I think just
it worked in your favor that you weren't
affected,
starstruck or just obsessed with pop music at that time. It served you well.
Yeah, I was able to, I think, maintain professionalism without like freaking out. Because I was so young. Yeah. You know what I mean? I was so young, but yeah, I felt so much older than these, kids.
They were
really.
kids.
Some of them were, like Kevin Richardson was not a kid.
Right. Okay, so that leads me to the next group, which is the Backstreet Boys.
But the Britney, I want to touch on for one sec because after I did these few jobs working with Haley, that was the impetus for me going freelance.
Really?
Because I made so much money on those jobs that I was like, what the hell am I doing? This is creative. This is fun. Like, I'm out in the world. I'm not sitting in a fluorescent lit office. Yep. I'm not locked in a fashion closet. And so this was sort of like, I just felt alive, honestly. Yeah. And that is when I made the move to go freelance. Like shortly after that, because then I got promoted and then I went freelance probably later that year, left there as senior fashion editor. But it's important because as senior fashion editor, I was styling a lot of shoots for the magazine and all the covers.
Sure.
And I met a lot of publicists and a lot of pop stars and actors. Like that's where I met Gwen Stefani
on cover shoots.
Drew Barrymore.
So that's really how you got your foot into this like music world.
That's how I met the publicist.
Love that
later
would hire
me.
Smart.
And so I made a lot of connections there, and then after I was working with Britney, I worked with Britney on my own a bunch. I flew to the World Music Awards to Monaco for 24 hours. I thought I was never going to work again because I got there. I flew with her and the bodyguards and like the team. And I just remember like I had like no notice. It was sort of like, you're leaving tomorrow and she's performing at World Music Awards in Monaco and you're going. And I was so young. So it was like, okay, you know, I just never unpacked a suitcase and like blah, blah, blah. And I went and I remember getting there and I remember the management team going, okay, everybody break, take a nap, take a shower, whatever. And you know me, Mary, like I don't nap, I don't sleep. But what did I do? I fucking blacked out. I blacked out and the next thing I remember is security banging on my door telling me we had to leave. She was going on stage. I had to get her ready. I'm by myself. I had no assistant. Like I was literally,
my God.
That was like one of the most panicked moments of my life.
I can't even imagine it, but for you to fall asleep that hardcore, because I know you sleep like
because I think I pulled an all-nighter.
Worst sleeper maybe in the history of the world. You must have been like truly exhausted, but that is really,
and it was terrifying. I was like, she's gonna miss her performance or go on naked because I fell asleep
and I'll never work again.
And by the way, that was truly the feeling and psychology that I had probably for the rest of my career was the like, if you fuck this up, you're not working anymore.
Yeah,
that's it.
You're done.
Truthfully.
So you're working with Britney. How was Britney then? Was she
she was great.
Because this is the sort of the beginning of her mega success.
She was great. And I think she was great. She was cute. She was bubbly. She was fun.
Was she collaborative with you? Did she like getting dressed or was she stubborn?
It was more what I very clearly remember was that I was trying to, I think, make her a little, sort of create a more, what do I say? Fashion, I guess, maybe. Less sort of ripped everything and whatever. And I was trying to do a little more fashion. I remember.
A little more polish.
And I remember she was performing Cher's song at the World Music Awards. You know, what's it? In a rhythm to the...
la da 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 dee. Yeah.
Oh
Why can't I remember the name of this song?
When the Beat Goes On.
When the Beat Goes On.
Like that,
oh my God,
like
thank you.
that.
My brain hurts from thinking about that.
And she was incredible. And she had like long hair. And I was like, okay, I'm going to give her this like very Cher, like kind of try to do this like Bob Mackie, like, you know, just a very like whatever. And I just remember it was this long, like, I believe if I remember correctly from 500 years ago, Donna Karan like did this like custom like couture at that time because we used to do all these award show dressing looks together. Like we would do custom things for clients, but she was doing this very special, it was like this long beaded, like almost like a mermaid fishtail long skirt. And basically we put this top on her and I just remember like 2 minutes before she went on stage, she went in the bathroom and cut it.
She cut the couture.
She cut the couture. She cropped the top to just below her boobs, if I remember correctly. I cried.
Yikes. Yeah. I mean, as the stylist, I'm sure you cried a lot.
Well, I cried only because I was like, am I fired from Donna Karan now for life?
Have I ruined my relationship
reputation?
with her? Yeah.
Did she hate what I styled? But she looked incredible. She performed great. We all went to this big dinner with Prince Albert that
night. Oh my God.
And at that was the beginning of my very surreal life.
Yeah.
Really. For
and
the
that
next 20 years.
Jumped you to Backstreet Boys, which
same management. It was with the Firm, a place called the Firm, which had Enrique, Backstreet, and Britney. And I want to say NSYNC, but maybe that's wrong.
Well,
that may be wrong.
I mean, for millennial girls like me, you were either Backstreet or NSYNC, and there was no.
Well, it's like, are you Edward or are you Jacob?
Of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
And now with Summer I Turn Pretty, it's are you Conrad or are you Jeremy?
I mean, it goes on forever, doesn't it? Backstreet Boys equal to basically Beatlemania
Beyond.
in terms of like
Beyond.
The logistics of them traveling, touring, being around. It must have been so insane to not only have one very famous client, but 5 very famous clients.
I can't really explain what was happening.
So you didn't do, correct me if I'm wrong, you didn't do the Backstreet's Back music video, right? The one where they're like Phantom of the Opera and it's like the dance, like the Thriller vibes where they're...
That might be right when I started.
Because you started with the Millennium album and
was
tour,
that my
right?
first or was that my last into Millennial? That I literally cannot remember.
You can't remember.
I have to watch that video.
Okay.
But I
It's
very
like
clearly remember.
It's very like Michael Jackson Thriller inspired. They're like
Okay.
dancing. It's like sort of a haunted mansion vibe.
Why do I feel like
It's
what were
very-
they wearing? I could tell by what they were wearing.
Like
Did they look
AJ
like I
was
styled
like-
them?
No, because it was so theatrical.
Right.
So like AJ has like the Phantom of the Opera mask on at one
Right.
point. Like Brian, I think it was Brian, is like a werewolf man. Like it was very, very theatrical.
I did so many music videos with them, and
Yeah.
we did like there's nothing we didn't do. So it's possible, but I remember Millennium.
Because that's the all white album.
Oh, well,
cover.
yeah, I remember
Yes.
that like it was because I remember walking into my hotel room. I had been prepping for so long. And what you have to remember, and I need people to try and like visualize what my life was with Backstreet. Imagine 5 kids, different, like anyone who has 5 kids. You could have 10 kids and not one of them would be alike.
Sure.
Not one of them would dress the same. Not one would
Right.
behave
Yeah,
the same. And that's what it was like. And it was like 5 guys that I loved, honestly, deeply. I was so close with them. They were like brothers. And Kevin was like a friend because I think we were the same age.
Kevin was the
Yeah.
slightly
Yeah.
older one
Yeah.
in the group. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Kevin kind of felt like, honestly, like the dad of the group, you know? And he and I hung out. I loved his girlfriend, wife,
Yeah.
Kristen. And, you know, I went through so much with all of them. I would say Nick was the baby and really felt like the baby,
Sure.
you know?
Sure.
And I genuinely think, I just remember white,
Yeah.
gray, black, but like Millennium obviously was all white, but I remember ideating with that. And I remember saying like, it's a new century. It's a new,
Yep.
like everything should be clean. Everything should be new. And I remember like creating that and saying like, they need to look modern. They need to look cool. They need to look clean. They need to like look cohesive.
Yeah.
And that was the biggest thing that I focused on with them was cohesion because I felt everyone needed to have their own style and their own take on the concept,
Right.
which they did.
Sure.
And that was the challenge, right? But like we would have, if it was 5 guys, I swear to God, I had a minimum of 5 racks per guy.
Yeah.
So I would stand there with, 50 racks of clothes
It's
and
just
white,
overwhelming,
white Prada,
that job.
white Dolce, white Gucci, white,
yeah.
you name it, white Zara, white
Everything.
white everything, right? Calvin, white,
Yeah. That's insane.
Yeah, it was
Dressing-
overwhelming.
That's insane.
My wardrobe budgets were, and remember, in those days, it was not like computer based. We didn't have like the cell phone
No.
world. Like it wasn't like that. So there was like StarTAC phones. So
Yeah.
I was not doing expenses on a phone. I wasn't taking notes.
Right.
Everything was paper. Everything was taxis. Everything was food, paper, receipts, everything. So if I had like $100,000 wardrobe budget, $200,000 wardrobe budget,
You had to
I had
keep-
to account
Yeah.
for every penny of that. And the worst part as a stylist, as any stylist will tell you, is you have to lay out that money. And
Yeah.
then you wait.
Yeah.
And you wait to get reimbursed.
Oh,
It's a terrible model.
That's terrible.
It's a
That
terrible
gives me
business model.
Literally a stomach ulcer.
It's a
thinking
terrible
about that.
business model. So every bit of my free time that I didn't have was spent taping or glue sticking taxi receipts, food
Oh,
receipts,
my God.
tailoring, alteration, shipping,
Yeah.
purchasing. I had to purchase a lot of stuff. I had a lot of stuff custom made.
Yeah.
I would be like down on 8th Street getting random like things for AJ, like feather things, or like I would get like embroidered or studded. Like I would buy a leather vest and have someone in 8th Street just like add studs to it or grommets on the shoes
Oh
or
my God.
denim, rip it up. I would tie things to like a car and drive so they would get beaten down. I would wash them. I would
Oh
just
my
try and like
God.
wear things down, t-shirts. I would tea stain them.
Yeah.
Tea stain.
I remember the tea stain.
Tie dye, you name it.
Oh my God.
That
was job
no
is too
free.
much. Yeah.
Did you know Dansko's been supporting women pursuing meaningful work since 1990? Yep, Dansko the Clog Company, but it's more than just footwear. Dansko is a symbol of comfort, quality, and purpose. Women wear Dansko shoes as a badge of their values and a nod to the work they do every day. Work that makes a difference in their communities, one bold step at a time. Dansko's Heritage Collection and newest designs are made for life on the move. Dansko's slip on and go, easy to adjust styles save you time, while their commitment to high quality materials ensures long lasting comfort and durability. Whether you're on your feet all day, tackling big goals, or simply embracing every day, Dansko is there to support you every step of the way. Because at Dansko, every decision is made with you in mind, from the shoes they design to the impact they make. Step into comfort and purpose today. Visit Dansko, dansko.com/radio to learn more or try a pair. That's dansko.com/radio. This is what you do when you have high standards and fancy all the fancy things, like an iconic Dior saddlebag or that diamond tennis bracelet. You go to eBay. There you'll find new loves that will never disappoint, expertly authenticated and everything. Whether it's that vintage pearl necklace or brand new ruby earrings, a Prada crossbody bag to be besties with your other handbags, even an eternally classic watch like that Rolex Oyster or that Cartier tank. You know the one. And when you find it, eBay has their experts' eyes to make sure you're getting the real deal. That way you can be confident that the designer finds you came for, the luxury wardrobe you've always wanted, it's all real. In fact, it's verified authentic. So bring your high standards and never limit what you can find. Yeah, eBay, the place for new, pre-loved, vintage, and rare fashion. eBay, things people love.
Have you ever brought your magic to Walt Disney World like, hey, we came to play? Did you tip your tiara to a Creole princess or get goofy officially? Step up like a boss and save the day? Or see what life's like under the tree of life? Did you? If you could. Would you? When we come through, it's true magic. 'Cause we came to play. Bring the magic at Walt Disney World Resort.
Let's be honest, our beauty routine should make life easier, not more complicated. Merit Beauty was created as the antidote to the overwhelming world of beauty. They simplify what it takes to get ready by creating high-performing, impossible-to-mess-up makeup and skincare products. Merit's best-selling products include their Great Skin Instant Glow Serum, which instantly hydrates and plumps for a fresh, dewy look. The Minimalist Perfecting Complexion Stick, a foundation and concealer in one for quick, natural coverage, and Flush Balm, a sheer, buildable cream blush that blends seamlessly for a healthy, natural flush. Every product is designed to work together effortlessly, so you can achieve that polished, put-together look without the extra steps. Not sure where to start? Merit has developed a selection of curated sets, like their 5-minute morning set. It has everything you need to get ready in just 5 minutes or less. It's time to simplify your morning. Head to meritbeauty.com today, and you'll also receive Merit's signature makeup bag free with your first order.
Okay, one of my personal favorite music videos that I'm obsessed with you working on is Mr. Enrique Iglesias, Hero.
Oh my God.
That song, that video, I would wait for TRL because I thought he was so gorgeous. And I also like the drama of the song in that music video with like Jennifer Love Hewitt and Mickey Rourke was the villain.
You have no idea.
I was obsessed with that video and that song.
That experience was perhaps one of the craziest experiences of my styling career, of my life.
Yeah.
I will remember that video forever for many reasons. That and another Enrique video where he met Anna, where he met his wife.
That is so funny.
And another Enrique video where I styled him with Whitney Houston.
Oh my
And that
God.
was unforgettable. Honestly,
Iconic. That's
unforgettable.
so amazing.
And her daughter came to set.
But Hero was a stressful job.
So Hero was crazy because it was this director, Joseph Kahn.
Yep. Who at the time was the guy.
I worked mainly with Joseph Kahn. I worked with Francis Lawrence.
Right.
A lot. He did a lot of the videos.
Who now directs like very major motion
Yeah.
pictures.
Yeah. That video was in Palm Springs.
Okay.
at the Merv Griffin estate,
Okay.
if I remember correctly. We stayed at, one of those great hotels. I remember getting there like 2 a.m. We had to be on set at 4:30. A prop stylist actually died on their way to set.
I remember you telling me
It was
this.
the absolute saddest thing because she drove off the ledge.
Oh my God.
There was no railing on the location we were going to. We were shooting, if I remember correctly, like August 27th or August 28th, something like that.
In the middle of the desert.
In the middle of the desert. It was
sweltering.
104
No.
by 7 a.m.
Oh my God.
Aaliyah died.
Oh, you got the news that
We got the news that she died while we were on set in the desert.
God.
People,
Because she was also shooting a music video in the Caribbean, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Her plane crashed. And so it was all these weird
energy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mickey Rourke was there. I was in a hotel with Mickey Rourke, and that was wild.
Wild.
By the way, he couldn't have been sweeter to me.
I'm
for the
sure
record.
he was.
And Jennifer Love Hewitt, I had known because we had done a bunch of shoots together because I think she had done like Party of Five. I had met her through like YM, and then I became her stylist for a bunch of things. And so I was doing her and Enrique, and Enrique is one of the most professional people you've ever known. He just is. And he would show up. He is by far and away the most handsome and charming
Love that.
person. Everything you want Enrique to be, he is and more.
Oh.
And me styling
We love to hear that.
Me styling Enrique, as much as I would try and make him a little fancier at times. Jeans.
Yep.
Vintage Levi's, like vintage jeans, hoodies.
Tight shirts.
I got him to go sometimes from a baseball hat to a beanie.
Yes,
which
I
ended up
remember him
being like
being
a
like-
signature. So that was a moment. I loved him. I still love him. I'll always love him. And I styled him for the video where he met his wife, Anna Kournikova, and I styled her as well. And I remember so clearly standing behind the monitor because I was obsessive about obviously everything
Looks
and like looks, clothes, everything. But the thing with me beyond styling, I really did everything in terms of like, I watched the lighting, I watched the angles, I would suggest to the directors how it might work better.
Yeah.
I would sit in all the time. I would try, like I was so in it.
You were very present on set.
Every part of it. But I remember standing behind the monitor and I remember looking at the director and looking at Enrique's team, this guy, Fernando at the time. And I was like, chemistry's pretty real in this one. This may go past this video, everyone.
Something might be going on.
And it did.
And they've been married for a long time.
They've been together ever since that video.
Ugh, I love that so much. Okay, rounding out your iconic music video moments, we have to talk about Jessica Simpson.
Okay.
We have to talk about These Boots Were Made for Walking. I mean, you fully dressed her like Daisy Duke, right?
I did.
She had, because the song was for promotional for the movie.
The Dukes of Hazzard. That was amazing. I
She
just
had
watched a clip of it with
long,
Sky.
long extensions in.
Yep. Ken Pavis.
The tiniest denim shorts you've ever seen in your life.
Ever.
And like a midriff tank top.
Yep. She looked.
And a big belt, right?
That belt needs to understand because I think it's so important if you don't know what stylists do. What I need to explain to you is that when you look at that video of Jessica Simpson and you look at, okay, she's wearing these cowboy boots, a big belt, these tiny little denim shorts, and this crop top. Okay, great. And I think we did cool earrings, if I remember correctly. She was so good in that video, honestly.
Yeah.
But what nobody knows is that to get to that look, there was literally 50 belts laid out with different buckles and different straps. There was maybe 30 pairs of cutoff denim shorts, maybe more, to make sure they were the right fit. We would have tailors on set that would make them shorter to make them shorter, then fray them so they look vintage. Cowboy boots, 100 pairs.
Oh my God.
And like the t-shirts, I would run up and down Melrose and La Brea and go all the thrift stores and it's not what it looks like, is all I'm saying.
Well, the simplicity of, denim shorts and a tank top and whatever, I think to an outsider goes, oh, that's so easy. Anyone could do that.
No.
But the amount of A, approvals it takes to get to the final outfit, and B, getting the final outfit and then keeping it you're shooting these music videos for more than one day, most likely.
Yep.
Keeping them looking good, having multiples to put on if she rips it or drops whatever on it or whatever. It's more than just a pair of shorts and a tank top.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It always is.
Always is.
It always is.
Okie dokie. I'm going to go rapid fire right into our listener Y2K questions.
Okay.
This covers a lot of different sort of like Y2K topics, but let's do it. Let's do a rapid fire.
Okay.
Okay. Question 1. Who is the nicest star from that era that you dressed?
I gotta tell you, I mean, the Backstreet Boys, like I said, were literally, it was like almost like I was their sister.
Yeah.
/ mom, that always was with them. Enrique, he's an angel. He's an angel.
Yeah.
We were so close. Like I loved
You're
him.
too nice to say
No,
this
but it's
nicest.
true. I would honestly tell you, because anyone that was a nightmare, like I didn't have time for, honestly.
Yeah. Well, that's good to know. That's good
I
to know
would
that
do
everyone
it.
was nice.
And
Yeah.
Jessica and I were like related.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
Like I was part of the Simpson family at one point.
Oh my God, I love that. Okay, who do you wish you could have styled from that era but never got to? I think you could do like music or otherwise.
I mean, maybe J-Lo.
J-Lo.
Right? Because
That was like her
Jenny from the
first
Block.
Jenny from the Block. Yeah.
You know?
You know who else I feel like, and I don't even know if you have worked with her, but like talking about like more 90s, whatever, but Alicia Silverstone.
I did
Like
work with
Cher
her.
Horowitz.
I
from
did
Clueless.
work with her.
Yeah.
I styled
'Cause she
her
was, like,
for different shoots.
Aerosmith's muse, right? She was in all of
Yeah.
those music videos.
Yeah.
But I feel like I feel like she could have been like a client of yours, like no brainer, just with her like aesthetic. Okay, what accessories from Y2K stand out to you the most? Like when you think about just accessories and having to like have 1,000 options of blank, what is it?
God. I'll be honest with you. Like I just remember coats.
Coats,
Like jackets and like accessories. I mean, hats.
Yeah.
There was a lot of hats.
I feel like also with jackets, Y2K had an interesting
big.
fabric.
Yeah, it was that techie
You know,
product.
yes.
It was that's why I keep
scuba,
going to
like the
coats.
scuba gear.
It was neoprene.
Yes.
It was a lot of neoprene, but the thing with me though, truthfully, I think I'd never succumbed to the oversized cargo pant and the sneakers with the big socks and stuff. And I think that's why in its resurgence, I'm like, no, see, I didn't.
You didn't like it then.
I was trying to go against the crop top. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So I think for me, I was shifting into like the 90s, like this sort of minimalism and the chic, and then the sort of like over the top. And I was just about pretty.
Yeah.
But for guys, to be honest, my vibe was like, just look hot.
Yeah.
Like, and to me, hot was Brad Pitt and Thelma and Louise. Like,
Yeah.
to me, it was always trying to make the guys, especially with like Enrique, it was that like, no, like look like Johnny Depp with Kate Moss. Like,
Yeah.
like beat up jeans, cool belt, beat up like Chelsea boots.
Yep.
And like a cool like leather or suede jacket with a vintage tee. Like to me, that was cool.
Yeah.
And that's where I was trying to take the guys, because that's where all of like young Hollywood, that was the young Hollywood vibe.
Yeah.
And so I was able
Merging
to,
the worlds.
I was able to do that with Enrique.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. We got this question a couple of times.
my God.
Why did thongs become popular in Y2K?
Oh my God.
It was like a thong. It was like a thong craze. I mean, there was even the song. The thong song.
Paris.
Hilton.
You know, I don't think we've
Yeah.
talked about Paris Hilton here,
Yeah.
and like Nicole and everything, because we're talking pop music. But I mean, I think Paris was like Juicy Sweats,
Yeah.
which was the biggest Y2K.
Oh, fashion-wise,
that's
yeah.
a thing. Like we can't forget that was J-Lo, Madonna, and like the whole velvet tracksuit of like my friend Pam Levy and Gila that created the Juicy tracksuit, and that was like rhinestone, like bedazzled tracksuits, bedazzled jackets, kits in.
Oh, yeah. The
you
whole
know,
thing.
the bedazzled everything. So I think we can't like not mention that,
Yeah,
because
I
it's
think
such
you're
a
right.
part of Christina Aguilera, like all of them. And Christina was opening for Backstreet Boys at the time.
Oh my gosh, that's so crazy.
Yeah.
Because she obviously went on to be her own massive success story.
Yep.
So yeah, the thongs like coming out of the pants.
I
We'll
think
blame
that,
Paris.
and then we did the low slung jeans.
It's almost like the thong craze happened because the jeans were just too low.
Yes.
The jeans were god awfully low.
And just to be clear, I want to be clear, I was not an advocate for that.
Sure.
You know, I mean, I think Paris, like, I have such a clear visual of when I met her with like the cropped, bleached white platinum hair in like a pink velvet sweatsuit with like so low, but she looked so hot, you know?
Yeah.
And she was so sweet and friendly, honestly.
Yeah.
But Kitson, I just keep thinking about Kitson.
Oh yeah, it was the craze. Okay, next up, thin eyebrows. Just why? Just why is what this our listener said.
I'm going to tell you why. Because that started because of like Calvin Klein, John Galliano, all the 90s supers, Kate Moss, they all did it. It was
tweezing their eyebrows off.
It was part of the minimalism movement, and it was all the 90s with matte brown makeup, you know, very neutral palette, matte lips, thin eyebrows, very wafy movement.
Yep.
And very minimal. No bells and whistles, no jewels, very clean. It was the Kate Moss Calvin movement, honestly.
Yeah.
And Kate Moss, like, I mean, she was like 16.
I know.
I mean, she
Was
changed
young,
the
young.
whole...
I mean, some of us millennial girls are paying for the over tweezing to this day.
I would like to
Sad.
proudly say that my mother, I have to thank my mom for not letting me do that.
That's good.
Because I still to this day have eyebrows.
Blessed. You made it out.
I still have
You made it out of
eyebrows.
Y2K with your
I mean,
brows.
listen, I don't have my 90s, 2000 eyebrows, but I still have eyebrows.
Fair. Okie dokie. Last question. Who was your most stubborn client from Y2K? Doesn't mean mean or difficult, but who was the most stubborn when it came to like getting dressed or wearing what you recommended or...
You know, when I think about it, it's like this sort of like the Lindsay, Misha, Nicole, we had so much fun. So they weren't. I'm thinking about my music world. Like, I mean, Britney, I would say definitely was the one who would sort of like change from whatever my...
Well, after you told me the cutting the couture story.
Yeah, I mean, I think Britney was definitely probably the one that, you know, did that. And I think I'm thinking about some of the Backstreet Boys. Like, we really collaborated. I mean, AJ and I had so much fun because he was the most like out there, you know?
Yeah.
He was the most costumey.
He was like he was like the bad boy of the
Yeah.
Backstreet Boys.
Oh, for sure.
So he was like the risk taker.
Yeah. And he
right?
had the most incredible voice. And Kevin was like dressing like my brother. It was fun. Nick, it was like chasing him to put clothes on him.
Oh my God. I mean, because he's just like running around enjoying his success.
And Brian was like a gentleman, you know, and Howie was a doll.
Okay. This is your final question.
Okay.
What was your go-to look in the Y2K era? When you were on set, when you were traveling, when you were...
Black and jeans. Like I would wear dark jeans. I'd wear like...
Flare, obviously.
Yeah, always. Dark denim, some kind of like black, probably ankle boot, you know, some kind of boot. And like a black like leather jacket. I had like 100 black leather jackets and that was like my jam.
Your go-to.
Yeah.
Stylist, always need pockets. On set.
God, I think of it. It's so funny.
Always need a pocket.
It was so fast. I'd like think about what I was even wearing. I can't even like...
Yeah.
I never thought about me.
Right. Well, because you said I kept a suitcase packed. So you're just like bringing the same things over and over, I'm sure.
So weird.
Oh my
I
gosh.
flew a lot of private planes. I remember that.
Ooh, that's fun though.
I was on private planes very young. Very young.
Did you witness anyone have a total meltdown on a private plane?
Of course I did.
Spill it. Who?
Nope.
Who?
Never.
Who?
Honey, I witnessed more meltdowns between 98 or 97 and 2008, 7, 12.
My wheels are turning.
2013. My styling life is filled with meltdowns.
We're at our time for today.
And on that note, next episode.
You have just queued us up for
Part 2.
meltdowns.
Yeah.
So stay tuned.
Part 2 of this podcast, the meltdown episode.
The meltdowns. Thanks for listening, everyone.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening to Climbing in Heels. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, the iHeart app, or wherever you get your podcasts so you don't miss a single episode this season. And be sure to follow me on Instagram at Rachel Zoe, and of course, the show at Climbing in Heels Pod for the latest episodes and updates. I will talk to you so soon, and have a great week. Mwah. Did you know Dansko's been supporting women pursuing meaningful work since 1990? Yep, Dansko the Clog Company, but it's more than just footwear. Dansko is a symbol of comfort, quality, and purpose. Women wear Dansko shoes as a badge of their values and a nod to the work they do every day. Work that makes a difference in their communities, one bold step at a time. Dansko's Heritage Collection and newest designs are made for life on the move. Dansko's slip-on and go, easy-to-adjust styles save you time, while their commitment to high-quality materials ensures long-lasting comfort and durability. Whether you're on your feet all day, tackling big goals, or simply embracing every day, Dansko is there to support you every step of the way. Because at Dansko, every decision is made with you in mind, from the shoes they design to the impact they make. Step into comfort and purpose today. Visit Dansko, dansko.com/radio to learn more or try a pair. That's dansko.com/radio.
Let's be honest, our beauty routines should make life easier. Merit Beauty simplifies what it takes to get ready by creating high-performing, impossible-to-mess-up makeup and skincare products. Merit's best-selling products includes their Great Skin Instant Glow Serum, the Minimalist Perfecting Complexion Stick, and Flush Balm. Every product is designed to work together effortlessly, so you can achieve that polished, put-together look without the extra steps. Head to meritbeauty.com today and receive Merit's signature makeup bag, free with your first order.
Behind every successful business is a vision. Bringing it to life takes more than effort. It takes the right financial foundation and support. That's where Chase for Business comes in. With convenient digital tools, helpful resources, and personalized guidance, we can help your business forge ahead confidently. Learn more at chase.com/business. Chase for Business. Make more of what's yours. The Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. Member FDIC. Copyright 2025 JP Morgan Chase & Company.
This is Radhi Devlukia from A Really Good Cry. Did you know that approximately 1 in 3 Americans have insulin resistance and consume over 300% more than their daily recommended intake of sugar? Have you been wanting to beat your sugar cravings? Well, I did a 30-day sugar fast and I found Apothecary Sugar Kick that helped me through it. Their potent tincture features Japanese-inspired ingredients studied for their ability to support healthy blood sugar levels, giving you more energy, less fatigue, and fortified longevity. Find Apothecary in Sprouts Farmers Market stores nationwide and online at Ulta.com, Amazon, and Apothecary.com. That's Apothecary with a K at Apothecary.com.